Hey folks, my name is Shraddha and I'm a senior verbal SME at e-GMAT. Can you confidently say that you can actually read the author's mind when you read an RC passage? If yes, I have a challenge for you. Here is a short RC passage. Pause the video, read it, and answer the question whether the author is merely presenting a scientific debate or the author takes sides with one of the entities mentioned in the passage. The answer to the question is that the author is actually taking side of the proponents who are talking about the warm-blooded theory about the dinosaurs. And how do we know that? We know that by the explicit use of two expressions, correctly point out and rightfully shifts. So the author makes it very, very explicit by the use of these keywords that the author sides with those who support the warm-blooded dinosaur theory. So why is it so important to understand the author's stance? You see, it's not only enough to know the content of the RC passage. It is imperative to understand the perspective of the author on that content because the correct answer choice for many of the RC questions, for example, main point, inference, and functions, is always from the author's perspective. So knowing or not knowing the author's stance can actually make or break your GMAT score. Let me take you through an official passage where test takers do not care to understand the author's stance, and the result is disastrous. So here is the official passage. To read the passage, pause the video. Once you're done, unpause. Now solve this main point question from the official passage. If you selected choice C as the answer, then your answer is not correct. The correct answer choice for this question is choice D. And let me present you some stats over here. According to the stats, more than 50% of the test takers end up selecting the incorrect answer choice. And what is the reason for that? The reason is very, very simple. They did not take care to understand what was the perspective of the author on the content of the passage. And let me show you why. Now, the author of the passage starts this passage by presenting the definition of GDP and for what reason it is used. Then he actually presents some critics' view on the criticism about this usage. And then he uses this very interesting phrase, they justly contend. This means that the author takes the side of the critics in criticizing this usage of the GDP mentioned in this passage. And hence, the correct answer choice is choice D because the author is criticizing the particular usage of GDP by being in hand in glove with the critics. Choice C is the incorrect answer because the author is not just describing the criticism meted out or given to the usage of GDP by the critics, but he himself is participating in that criticism by affirming or by agreeing to what the critics have to say. So the takeaway is to always understand the author's stance in an RC passage. By doing so, we will be able to solve most of the RC questions correctly. And how to understand what is the stance of the author? That's simple, by paying attention to the keywords that the author themselves use in the passage to talk about their stance, whether they agree, disagree, or remain neutral to the viewpoints of the personalities mentioned in the passage. So, can you now say that you can confidently read the mind of the author? Well, test your skill. Here we have two practice questions for you. Take to our comment box and present the analysis of these two practice questions. I hope that you found this video helpful. If you did, then click on the like button and let us know. Also, do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Till we come up with the next, happy learning.